First we had their ears, then we had their heart. We seen a lot come and go, but we've been here from the start. See, we done seen the Rangers pull up with ribbons. We seen them repulled, resold, and redriven. But Guard Your Girl boxing is a given. Throwback t-shirt, the original Guard Your Girl boxing tees. Shout out to the Brass, Docs, Big Mike, Rada Da, Sleep, BJ Murray, the Volley Boy, the whole Guard Your Girl boxing family. Summertime's over, Labor Day weekend, a lot of fights is coming up. You know, it's time to look ahead. We got a hot fall coming up. Summer was okay. You know, we had some decent fights. Super 6 tournament is now, not concluded. It will be concluded. A little peek ahead to that. Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Victor Ortiz, Tomas Adamek, Gary Russell Jr., Eureka's Gamboa, Vitaly Klitschko. You know, a lot of names coming up in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, over the summer, not too hot, but some stuff. Some interesting things happened. There's just one particular thing that happened a couple weeks ago that I didn't get a chance to, voice my opinion on that took place in the bantamweight tournament. But we're going to talk about the 24/7 vicious Victor Ortiz versus Floyd Money Mayweather, as I mentioned. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that as well. Looking ahead this weekend, Berto resurfaces back on the scene again, and Andre Berto is an interesting character. We had him on a radio show. Good guy. When I say interesting, let me rephrase. I don't mean an interesting character. He seems to always be in interesting places. Well, I should say at the right place at the right time. No matter what happens with Berto, he always seemed to be on the right end of fighting for a vacant title. If you remember a couple of years ago, he fought, I think, for Floyd's, one of Floyd's titles that he relinquished. And now, after losing to Victor Ortiz, who's fighting Mayweather in 2 weeks, Berto's yet fighting for another title fight. I don't even know. I'm not even going to say Zavad. And no disrespect to this dude, but I couldn't pick this dude out of a vegetable aisle in Acme. I don't know who this dude is, But apparently, dude is worthy of a title shot, and Berto's getting at it. I mean, props to him. If he's able to take this dude on and win the title, and God bless him. But I just find it interesting, coming off a loss, really not having done a whole lot in the welterweight division. He's fighting for he's going to become a title holder. But this is an interesting fight for Berto. I don't know a lot about this guy, and shout out to the people on the board. One thing about culture, I don't fake no moves. If I don't know about a dude, I'll lean on y'all. If y'all know about this dude, please share some knowledge and some wisdom with me about this cat. But I just know what happened to Berto in the Victor Ortiz fight, and I know he took a lot of punishment in that fight. So it's always interesting to see the rebound fight. You just saw recently with Paul Williams how he's been looking since the Sergio Martinez. But granted, Paul has been taking a lot more punishment than Berto has. But Berto has been dropped several times in his career, and one fight sometimes can equate to 6 or 7 fights. He took a lot of punishment in that Ortiz fight. So I'm not about to make a prediction on a cat that I know nothing about. I'm just a little leery about the situation. I'm not 100%. Put it like this. It ain't no smart money on this fight. I just think this is a good barometer, and not knowing nothing about the cat, for Berto just to kind of see where he's at mentally. So, we'll see how that goes this Saturday night, this Saturday coming up. Also coming up next week, you got Gary Russell Jr. Coming out. Now, Gary Russell Jr., if you don't remember, he fought on the undercard, featherweight, by the way. He fought on the undercard of the Zab, Judah, and Amir Khan fight. Everybody is kind of saying that he got the fastest hand in the business. It's hard to say. His hands is extremely fast, and he looks really dangerous, really good. And we're looking to try to get him on a radio show shortly, so be on the lookout for that. But it's hard to gauge what he is yet, because he's still up and coming. I believe this is the first guy he's fought. The guy he's fighting this Saturday is the first guy he's fought with a legitimate resume. Excuse me, next Saturday coming up. I just want to caution everybody because there's been some talk about him potentially taking on Eureka's Gamboa. Pause. And my whole voice. Pause on that. Seriously. I think this kid can really be something special. His fight game looks official. But even his dad has said today, somewhere I read, let's just take it a little bit easy. Let's just slow down a little bit on this whole him versus Eureka's Gamboa. You got world champions ducking Eureka's Gamboa. You know, so Eureka's Gamboa is the real. He's official like a referee with a whistle. Ain't nothing question about Gamboa except maybe some of the things, some of his flaws that he has defensively, and maybe his chin. But that dude is all about killing in that ring, and to put a green still wet behind the ears fighter in a ring with a guy like Eureka's Gamboa who got some extremely fast hands, and he's a one-punch knockout artist, which is a deadly combination. You know, Juan Manuel Lopez was strategically moved away from Eureka's Gamboa. And nothing to do about them trying to sell them tickets or none of that. I think they believe Bruce Trampler, Todd DeFlo, and the suits over there at TR knew that Eureka's Gamboa would have put Juan Manuel Lopez in a coffin. He would have put him underneath the ground. And I don't mean that literally, but he would have literally hurt Juan Manuel Lopez. And I think Juan Manuel Lopez got the career beat out of him when he fought Salido and amongst some other fights. But that's a whole other subject for another day. My point is Gary Russell Jr., he looks official. Be on the lookout for him. I'm just letting y'all know now, he's a kid that's going to be making some noise, but he's nowhere near ready to fight a world-class fighter like Eureka's Gamboa, a Cuban fighter with over probably 300, 400, 500 amateur fights and 20 professional fights, and he's a world-class champion. Eureka's Gamboa, though, take on Ponce de Leon, who got knocked out while Juan Manuel Lopez over a year and a half ago or so. I don't expect any trouble out of this fight from Eureka's Gamboa. I know some people think Ponce de Leon, who once upon a time ago was a very good fighter. Is he still alive? Is he still game? Somewhat, a little bit. But I'm telling y'all right now, the only guy that could possibly give Eureka's Gamboa any trouble is Nonito Donaire, who's fighting a weight or two class beneath him. That's the only person that can give Eureka's Gamboa any trouble. And I'm not even sure that he can. Eureka's Gamboa is one of these guys that is going to take an extremely disciplined, slick, defensively style guy to beat a Eureka's Gamboa for 12 rounds. You know, this guy, although he's a featherweight, he's built like a freaking welterweight. I mean, he's chiseled up all crazy. And he got dynamites in his mitts, man. And again, the speed factor. He throw Roy Jones-like combinations, and he is hard as hell. I'm picking Eureka's Gamboa to knock Ponce de Leon out. I'm looking at this as a 5-round fight. Even though Juan Manuel Lopez knocked him out early too, I think the same thing here. And I know some people will say, well, this is a Juan Manuel leftover. It may be, but it ain't Eureka's Gamboa's fault he can't get no fights, you know. They've been trying to make fights. I'm telling you now, Eureka's Gamboa is being ducked. He's being ducked and dodged. So we'll see what plays out as things go on. You know, they're saying that Nonito may perhaps take on Gamboa later on. I think that might be the fight, one of the best fights made in boxing, not named Pacquiao or Mayweather. Although I think Ward and Froch is a pretty good fight too. But again, I'm picking Eureka's Gamboa. I got Eureka's Gamboa knocking him out. By next year around this time, we'll be talking about Eureka's Gamboa as a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter because he's going to probably wipe everything out. All right, moving right along. Tomas Adamek, and that's for in WBA title bout was on the line in that fight. But moving right along, sidebar real quick. I just want to know, put your little thing beneath the comments here. What was your favorite movie this summer? I'm throwing my vote in for X-Men. What do y'all want? I got kids. I got to keep them entertained. Yeah, I think X-Men was my favorite movie this summer. I'm not a big superhero and all that, but I thought it was well done. I don't know nothing about Marvel and none of that. As long as I'm entertained, that's all that matters. I don't need to be educated of what was the proper story, what wasn't. It was a movie, and I liked it. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. But moving right along, Tomasz Adamek versus Vitaly Klitschko. I think the WBC is on the line, one of the belts. But this is an interesting fight. Me and Sleep was talking about this earlier. If the right Adamek show up and he looked like the Adamek, as Sleep like to say, track whatever from the from Snoop Dogg album. That's for you, Sleep. I know, but Tomasz Adamek looks like he's improved a little bit as far as his boxing ability goes. Remember when he fought Chris Arreola? Now, granted, this is Vitaly Klitschko, not Chris Arreola, but Vitaly Klitschko is getting a little older. Tomasz has improved his boxing skill a little bit, so I'm gonna just say that this is gonna be a tougher fight than a lot of people might think it's gonna be. But at the end of the day, Vitaly Klitschko will probably be victorious. But I don't know if it's going to be a knockout because since Adamek has moved up in weight, he's gotten rocked and wobbled at light heavyweight and cruiser. But up here, he seemed to be, I guess because, well, I shouldn't say that. He's more mobile, so I don't really know where it's at. Let me retract that statement. He's a lot more mobile than he was in the smaller weights, and that's because he's light heavyweight moving up to heavyweight essentially, so he got to bob and move and kind of keep it moving. But yeah, so I'm picking Vitaly to win the fight. I'm picking Vitaly to win the fight. 24-7. All right, let me just get my 2 cents on this real quick. As far as the whole Mayweather Floyd Jr. versus Senior, like I said on a radio show, they talk. This is how Roger Senior, Jr. for years they had a on and off relationship. 24/7 is there to entertain you. Do not lose sight of that. Do not lose sight of that. All this nonsense about Floyd may not be focused. Floyd might not be prepared. Worrying about his legal things and the thing with his dad. I've been saying this since the existence of Garage Girl Boxing. 3 athletes that I know of: Peyton Manning, Kobe Bryant, Floyd Mayweather Jr. They was bred to do what they're doing. You understand what I'm telling y'all? They were bred to do what they're doing. Meaning they are nerds in sciences when it comes to their craft. See, y'all get caught up in all that other stuff with Floyd. Him hanging in the clubs, him MFing and effing and talking about his dad and all this other nonsense. Like I said, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Manning, these dudes were almost like robots, programmed to do what they do. They don't really have, this is why they're so great at their profession. Same thing. You might not like Peyton Manning, you might not like Kobe Bryant. You don't have to hang out with him or kick it with him, or do whatever with him. But one thing you got to do is respect their craft. World champions for years, or Peyton Manning only got 1 ring, but it's harder in football because there's other people involved. Kobe Bryant, bred to win championships. How many he got? 5. How many world-class titles do Mayweather got? Okay, my point exactly. Mayweather, all he does is train. He watches, despite him saying he watches film, and this is why he's one of the best fighters of this generation. Because he takes his craft serious. What he's doing, sidebar, is getting Twitter popping, Facebook popping. All these social outlets that got nothing to do with boxing. He got all this stuff popping because everybody's focused. Victor Ortiz is like an afterthought. And don't think that he's looking past Victor Ortiz. Please don't make that. We're going to get into the who I think going to win the fight. Once we get off the whole game here. But I just wanted to talk about the whole 24/7 thing. Do not get it twisted or misconstrued that he's distracted or that Victor Ortiz. I do think Victor Ortiz is coming to fight. But that's a whole other subject. Floyd Mayweather Jr. doesn't have, like I said on the radio show Monday, he doesn't have any bad habits when it comes to his craft. Forget all the other stuff. We're strictly talking about boxing. And like they said, if you don't have bad habits, you won't have too many bad nights in the ring. And to my knowledge, Floyd hasn't had too many bad nights in the ring. And this all comes from him being a student of this game. You know, Floyd don't even really have no friends because his whole life was spent in the boxing gym. He didn't have any outside life like you or me or regular kids. You heard what his sister said like 224/7s ago? He didn't even, could your birthday party, he was training like 6, 7 years old. This is what he was bred and conditioned to do. Now the other part of the game he's mastered is the entertainment part. Blue pill or red pill. He decided to take a certain color pill, stuck with it, and he's made millions of dollars. He's the #1 ticket in boxing right now. Get it through your head. Stop buying into the nonsense. I like 24/7 because it's enjoying to me. It's entertaining. It's no different from watching the Desperate Housewives. If wifey watches that and you happen to catch that with her, it's no different from watching the Jersey Shore. And on front, some of y'all probably watch that. It's no different from any of that. All these reality shows are all the same. They're edited and they're meant to sell drama. Making a Band with Puffy. All drama, pre-tape, the editing, like sleep through the editing here. It's all edited to be sold to you. So don't believe the hype.